Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome you this evening. Your presence is most gratifying. As a matter of fact, your numbers exceed our hopes by a wide margin. We're deeply appreciative, just as we've been appreciative of your interest in and support of our Chamber of Commerce this past year. We disclaim credit for any achievements which might have been made this past year. We realize that the credit belongs to you, the many of you who have actively worked long and hard in the interest of the Chamber and as a result, Arlington. And also to the many of you who perhaps didn't work quite so active, that you weren't quite so active in your effort, but who are, in reality, Arlington. It's your gospel that we preach, and believe me, it's not a hard gospel to sell. So if people know me, that doesn't necessarily sound like the words I normally use when I start off our annual dinner or any event. Any idea of whose words those were? It's all right. I'm not going to make everybody shout and holler. But those were the words that Tom Vandergrift spoke 75 years ago as he opened his address to the 1950 Chamber Annual Banquet. And what's cool about those words is they still ring true today. I might say them a little bit differently, but they still ring true today. Our achievements and our successes as a chamber belong to you, the community of Arlington, because we are one and the same thing. Some of you are here tonight because Arlington has been your whole life. Some of you are just now kickstarting your Arlington journey. No matter the circumstances that brought you here to this ballroom, which, by the way, was a parking lot less than 10 years ago, we're so grateful that you're here. We're excited to celebrate 80 years of business and community impact with you. In a world where it seems we can always find something to complain about, let's make this an evening to celebrate. Celebrate all Arlington and the Chamber have become. Celebrate the wins, celebrate the times where we had to work hard just to survive, even when the odds were not in our favor. Let's celebrate the future that's ahead of us. And most of all, let's celebrate everyone, all of you, who have helped us be the chamber we are today.
1945 was a pivotal year with the end of World War II. 8 million troops returned home, and the U.S. War Department discharged 250,000 service members a month. It's no surprise the Arlington Chamber was founded in 1945. A flooded workforce and an economy transitioning into the first era of globalization, every city in America needed a strong, central voice for the business community. In 1949, when he was only 23, Tom Vandergrift was elected president of the Chamber Board. By 1950, the population was 7,700, and Tom was determined to bring General Motors to Arlington. It was even one of his reasons to run for mayor. He thought GM couldn't ignore the mayor's calls. Once elected, his pursuit continued, and GM Arlington opened in 1954 as one of the largest industrial facilities in North Texas. In a strong follow-up, the Great Southwest Industrial Park opened in 1956, the Dallas-Fort Worth Turnpike opened up in 1957, and the community-funded Arlington Memorial Hospital opened in 1958. By 1960, the population of Arlington was 45,000, a nearly 500% increase. We transitioned from an agricultural-based economy to industrial, and businesses wanted to be here. Six Flags Over Texas opened in 1961. Arlington State College joined the UT system in 1965, the same year Turnpike Stadium opened to host the AA DFW Spurs. In the late 1960s, DFW International Airport was under construction, and what's now known as I-20 opened. By 1970, the population doubled to 90,000 people. In 1971, Arlington celebrated another big win with Major League Baseball team owners approving the move of the Washington Senators to Arlington. The Texas Rangers took to the field for the first time on April 21, 1972, defeating the California Angels 7-6. However, that day was possible with a little help from the chamber. Major League Baseball changed the required seating minimum before the season started. Mayor Vandergriff called upon his friends at the chamber to get the additional 3,500 seats, and we did. Momentum continues for Arlington with the opening of DFW International Airport in 1974, just 15 miles north of Arlington City Hall. In a strong follow-up, DFW Turnpike officially was paid off and the tolls were removed, and a widened State Highway 360 opened, all in 1977. Now with 3 major highways, a Major League Baseball team, and an international airport, Arlington was more than happy to welcome baby boomers coming into adulthood, where young families could plant community roots with strong schools, a thriving business community, and affordable housing. By 1980, the population had nearly doubled again, with 160,000 residents. The 80s had big hair and big dreams, just like Arlington. Lincoln Square, Wet n' Wild, and the Parks Mall all opened in the 80s. UTA drastically expanded their doctoral programming, and the 1982-1983 Chamber Board Chair Richard Green was elected mayor in 1987. Now it's 1990, and 260,000 people live in Arlington, 100,000 more people in just 10 years. The goal was to secure our identity as a big league city and build a new destination ballpark to keep the Rangers. Mayor Green, along with the Chamber and other major community stakeholders, led the Team Arlington effort to increase sales tax by half a cent and build a new ballpark. And the residents supported it resoundingly, with 65% voting yes. April 1st, 1994 was no Fool's Day. Opening day at the ballpark in Arlington was an exhibition game versus the New York Mets, a game that meant nothing, but also everything. It was a celebration of how far Arlington had come. Nearly 50 years since the end of World War II, and this small agricultural town was now the place to be. Only 28 cities in America had a Major League Baseball team, and they weren't Dallas or Fort Worth. Arlington's identity as a destination was solidified. It's no surprise that in 1996, when a D Magazine reporter called Mayor Green about his suburban town's ranking, he replied with what's now known as an Arlington mantra, "We're nobody's damn suburb." 1996 also brought the announcement that GM Arlington Assembly would be retooled to build SUVs, and in 1997, Arlington became the exclusive home for the Chevrolet Tahoe, Suburban, and GMC Yukon. It's now the year 2000, we've all survived Y2K, and Arlington is home to 330,000 people, another 70,000 new residents in 10 years. Since 2000, our accomplishments have skyrocketed. Today, Arlington sits at the heart of the North Texas economy, tourism, and culture, a transformation launched by those early post-war decisions. What began in 1945 as a small group of business leaders answering the call of a new era has grown into a community of dreamers and doers shaping a city on the world stage. Together, Arlington has proven that when business and community work hand in hand, there are no limits to what we can achieve.
The 80-year transformation of our community is truly amazing. We are standing on the shoulders of giants who saw Arlington's potential, took educated risks, and created the can-do spirit we're known for today. Time and time again, the people of Arlington have proven that if you give us a chance, if you give us the opportunity to step up to the plate, we'll hit it out of the park every time. As president and CEO of this great chamber, it gives me enormous sense of pride to know we were there for every milestone. We had a seat at the table when visions, decisions, and skylines were defined. So many of you here tonight have played a pivotal role in our tremendous history. We've had over 77 board chairs in 80 years. So what I'm going to do is ask, we're not going to call them all out by name, but we'll have some videos here in a moment that have some of them. But if you are a former board chair of the chamber and you're here tonight, please stand up and be recognized. By the way, y'all can sit down. Thank you, Ralph, who just stood up. Just know, I think his term was all the way back in 1974. So great that he's here with us, Ralph Shelton. We have had some truly amazing leaders that are also no longer with us, who served as the chair of our chamber. Leaders like Mayor Tom Vandegrift, Paul Yarborough, Dr. Judith Carrier, and so many others. They each had their own vision for Arlington, to be a big league city, a logistical hub where anyone could be successful in business, or a place where education was attainable and welcome to all. They each knew that the only way to deliver on that vision was to work together. And that's still true today. Our mission, together we champion economic and community prosperity. And if I say together 1,000 times tonight, it's still not enough. Together is how this chamber and this city have accomplished so much, with that momentum continuing. Some of the chamber's 80 years have gone by in a blur, with success and celebration. Others have been difficult, maybe even grueling, where getting to the end of the year felt like the biggest win. No matter the state of affairs, if it's been the chamber members that have gotten us through it. We are an organization of individuals coming together to make a bigger impact with a shared voice. The legacy of togetherness is not lost on us. It's part of Arlington's history. Let's hear from some of our past board chairs.
There's been great times in the chamber. There's been some bad times in the chamber when the chamber membership was not good, the economy was not good, COVID came along, all kinds of things up and down, but the chamber survived them all. They've made great strides in what they've done with the business community in Arlington, and you have to hand it to them. They just never gave up, never do give up, and they've been here 80 years.
It's been so wonderful to have a leader like Michael for the past almost 10 years that really spearheads the effort to pull together what I call the 1,000 leaders of Arlington. It just so happens we have 1,000 members of the chamber, and I like to think that those are the leaders of our community. When something needs to get done, we can quickly activate, we can quickly solve problems, and without the chamber serving as that forum and catalyst to get change, I don't know where it happens.
The chamber's kind of had its ups and downs, and it's been strong and it's been weak, but it's always been there, and always with the intention of making Arlington a great place to live and work. I think that's because of the passion of the people that are members and that support the chamber, and in the end, all they want is to see Arlington succeed.
So Kelly, tonight is about 80 years of legacy. I think that hits maybe deeper for you than most anyone in this room, with Tom and Carl as your father-in-law and your brother-in-law. Why should this legacy of this organization matter to all of us gathered tonight, and why is it so special to you?
So it's an incredible legacy, this foundation that we have. So many people before us have done so much to lift the community. And you think about the tenure, how many years this foundation, but I'm going to submit the character of the foundation of our chamber, our members, the leadership that sacrifice happily, give happily, support happily, so that the community can rise up, to rise all, the tide for all boats. Is just so much that we've seen and experienced that we have to keep it going. It's too good, it's too special. As Tilly said, God has blessed us here in Arlington to be able to do what we do. So long answer, but there's a really big reason we got to keep this going. It is very important.
Well, and if you look at your year, people last year might remember at annual dinner, there was a video, everybody chambering. Sort of Kelly's unofficial tagline has been "Let's Chamber." So talk about that. The "Let's Chamber." What does chambering mean, and have we accomplished that this year?
Or chambering tonight. You look around, right? It's chambering is something more. You can capture it and celebrate it than you can teach it. You know, you look at here a couple of years ago in Carolina Chia when our refrigerator went out and we got to sell all the pies. You look at somebody like Randy Ford, who we honored a couple years ago, and I remember him going, new restaurants would come and he would go to help them. That's a competitor, you know, that style. For Sam Marouk tonight, he's not only donating auction items, he's buying them. And there's somebody from, homegrown UTA. That's Chamber and with a smile on our face and with such peace and joy together. I love Chamber.
It's all about that word together that we talked about tonight. All right, so what advice do you have for Joni Wilson, who will be up here in just a little bit as our incoming chair?
Joni Wilson, we are blessed. Joni Wilson is a Proverbs 31 woman. I encourage you to do what you do. You lean into the Lord, lean into the moment. The moments are going to happen, and most of the time, Lord willing, they're not going to be tough moments, but if they are, I know you're ready. But for all the opportunities that you have to touch someone's life, because you're the chamber chair, because you have that smile and that joy, to share that and lift people up and know that it makes an impact, just be ready for every single moment to make the most of them.
All right, great advice. So, for me, it's been great having Kelly as chair, and y'all know, I mean, you just get to hear all this great advice, counsel. He's so inspiring, and all that has meant the world to me as we go through the year. And you like to think that every day is perfect, but every day is not perfect. So having that person to call to sometimes that can just uplift you, it's been awesome. So I really appreciate you, and I know our chambers appreciated you. So, all right, your parting shot tonight, what's some inspiring words to leave us with?
Final words, and then I'll be irrelevant. Just two things, and they're based on together.
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar is one of my favorites, and he's got a famous quote that you will get everything that you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. True success in life, true success is achieved when you make a positive impact in another's lives. And so I encourage everyone to continue to lift each other up, lift the people around you. Everybody's got a sphere, of leadership, wherever you are. You have the ability tomorrow to make a positive impact on people's lives that are around you. If we do that together, we will continue to champion economic community prosperity together, Lord willing.
All right, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. So we have a gavel here for you. Thank you to Sherry Jackson. Let's give Sherry a round of applause. All right, Kelly, this is a gavel. We appreciate you. Hopefully this will find a good place in your home or your office. Thank you for everything that you have done. I'm going to ask you just to go ahead and stand here with me for a second. It's fine. You'll be good. We're fortunate over the past 80 years. We've had amazing leaders like Kelly, who actively chose every day to build on the Arlington Dream. Six Flags and Major League Baseball set the stage for the entertainment district that we stand in today, which in 1945 could not have even been fathomed. But what did exist in 1945 is the vision and the belief that we can always do more, be more, and it's that higher purpose that has earned Arlington a global reputation for its can-do spirit.
When you drive through the entertainment district, when you see this new convention center and hotels and everything, I remember us going in people's living rooms and pitching the idea, if we build this, they will come. And it was hope and prayer and a dream, and it's all coming to fruition. And seeing it all coming to fruition, seeing the whole community benefit from all of that community work is just a beautiful thing.
Arlington doesn't have a sense of being satisfied with where we are. We always are pursuing opportunities that will take us further down the road of success.
We have been a can-do city for a long time, ever since Tom Vandergriff started that, with the Rangers, with the Six Flags, with General Motors. So every time the city leaders have come to the citizens of Arlington and ask for something of that magnitude, bring to the city, which they know they're going to create basically jobs and they basically, improve the economic vitality of the city. Citizens of Arlington
business community, everybody has responded. And we all have seen the results of it, that they're all here in our backyard.
The entertainment district is a big dream. Big things take 50 years. And people are impatient. They want it yesterday. So the whole time you're going through the long game, all the naysayers are having a field day until it happens. Viridian, the entertainment district, the University of Texas. These are all winners. DFW Airport, great story about that back in the day. Those are the little pioneer guys that don't give up, and they just keep their nose to the grindstone. But they can't do it without a whole team of people. And that's the chamber offers that to people to collaborate, and together they can be successful.
Taking a step back and looking at our tremendous 80-year timeline as a city, we can see that Mayor Vandegrift's Dream the Big Dream is part of our culture. We don't shy away from the big stuff. We embrace it. We can do big things, and we can do big things together. The Chamber has rallied people to common cause going back to our founding. In the 1940s, the Chamber led efforts to ship container loads of goods to Bad Königshofen, Germany, after a student's pen pal relationship kindled our humanitarian heart. Now we have a blossoming Sister Cities program. Let's recognize Tom Vandegrift's relentless pursuit of GM to build Arlington Assembly. We literally built a lake for them because they needed that water supply. It transformed Arlington's economy in the 1950s. GM has now been here for 71 years. He then dreamed we would have, yes. By the way, and hopefully you saw the chieftain as you came in today. If you hadn't, and I think unfortunately the chieftain might be being taken away while we're in here, but hopefully you got a chance to get a picture with the chieftain. He then, which was the first car that came off the assembly line. He then dreamed, Mayor Vandegrift, that we'd have a Major League Baseball team. He rallied the business community behind him. We all made it happen. The Chamber then stepped up, as we heard earlier, to add the required seats to Turnpike Stadium to officially qualify for the major leagues. We made it happen again. The Chamber was side by side with Mayor Green as he led the effort for the new ballpark in the 1990s. We made it happen again for a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, with now AT&T Stadium, Globe Life Field, and the Arlington Economic Development Corporation. The Chamber built 2 different buildings in downtown Arlington, one in the 60s in our current home, which opened in September of 2000, so 25 years ago. We created in that building a space to convene, a place to work together. But if time has taught us anything, it's that we as individuals are not forever. Our time will come. Buildings age, infrastructure is replaced, but our spirit, our will as a people, it's timeless.
We added Chamber and the city got together and we added up to 35,000 seats to bring it to Major League standards. We had a lot of fun with that project. We took an old stadium that was a minor league stadium, started turning into a major league stadium. UTA used to play football there, and they'd bring bulldozers in and move the seats around so they could play football, and then move it back so they could play baseball. And that didn't tend to work so well, so we started the campaign to build the Ranger Stadium, the one that's now Choctaw Stadium.
We had the original ballpark. We have AT&T. We have the new ballpark. But look at what that has driven. That campaign, the Vote Yes campaign, has turned us. I mean, it set the table for next year when the World Cup's going to be here. 9 games. And all of that began then.
The EDC, or the Economic Development Corporation, it became really important to get it funded. And the only way that we could really get it funded was going to be through a state or through a sales tax referendum. And we formed our committee. We started raising money to get it, to support it on the ballot and get it passed. The Economic Development Corporation, as it's certainly been proven, or has proven to the community, that it has been significantly successful.
The whole city was excited, I think, that we had landed the Cowboy Stadium, but however, we had a step to go forward on, and that was the sales tax election. And my goodness, the chamber stepped up to be able to get the information out about why do we want to spend money to bring the stadium here. And of course, it was all about OPM, other people's money. And of course, we had the opportunity for us to invest some money, but then in turn, we would get a major return by people coming here and attending those games and taking tours and being able to go to other events besides football that would take place in this incredible facility. And the chamber brought people together to help and to work and help make sure that everyone got that message.
As I look around this room, I know dozens of you here tonight have worked on these campaigns over the decades. You went and spoke with your neighbors, your colleagues, friends, and even the opposition to explain why these were the right choices. It was together. Together we accomplished these big dreams. We turned them into visions that we could share, and then we executed. We believed. We made things happen. We can't talk about Arlington's success over the past 4 decades without talking about the Moritz family and Moritz Interests Limited. They have been the fuel behind so many projects in Arlington as well as the chamber. David Moritz, founder of Moritz Interests, and his awesome team led by Bill Snider were never ones to seek the spotlight. Over the years, the chamber has requested to recognize their tremendous community impact that the Moritz Interests has made, all met with a very polite but a very emphatic no thank you. But tonight's different. Tonight we're celebrating 80 years. And I can tell you firsthand, along with many others in this room, that our chamber exists today because of their commitment and their investment. Our continued impact on the business community is possible because of their belief in our mission. David and Bill understood on the deepest level that we are stronger when we work together towards a common vision. With that, we're incredibly excited that Moritz Interests has agreed to accept our request in our 80th year to induct them into our Business Hall of Fame.
Congratulations to Moritz Interests. Wow, what a company, what a firm, and what a partner in making Arlington what it is today. So many contributions, both from a business standpoint, but the contributions to the chamber and so many nonprofits in our community. Amazing what David Moritz did in his leadership, but also he knew the value of partnerships. He brought in Bill Snider, an incredible man there who had such great experience, former council member, head of the Sports Authority, but also a great attorney. And then he brought in a real estate mogul, Steve Cavender, of course, we all know, a man of few words who has made a difference in so many different ways. But then John David Moritz has continued on the stature of this company, continuing to give back. I can think of Arlington Life Shelter, the University of Texas at Arlington, so many different companies that he has helped and so many charities to make a difference, but also a man who does have compassion and caring just like his father did. And then I don't want to negate the women there behind the men, there with Becky Moritz there and of course Leslie Moritz. And then you go to Phyllis Snider and then Ann Cavender. Yes, the women behind the men that were so critical. And then of course the legacy that is being left here with Robert Snider, who we're all so proud of there and what he is going to mean in continuing that legacy of Moritz Interests, making such a difference here in our community.
You know, I believe everybody knows that David Moritz, Moritz family, and Moritz organization have been a really long time member of this community, and Arlington is really fortunate to have them in our city. You know, their support, contribution to this community has been tremendous. While we were designing the chamber building, I had personally the pleasure of working with him and spend a lot of time on design and construction with him. You know, David always wanted to make sure everything is done right. You know, he was very meticulous and perfectionist. Without David's support, investment, and advice, this building would have been able to come to fruition. As the 2015 inductee to the Business Hall of Fame, I would like to congratulate David Moritz, Moritz family, and Moritz organization in being inducted into the 2025 Business Hall of Fame at the Chamber. And David, I know that you're looking at us from above during this meeting, and I hope that you're not upset with us, because David, being such an unassuming person, he never wanted recognition or his name anywhere.
Big congratulations to the Moritz family. We're so thankful for you for many generations.
David Moritz and I met each other in 1976 when he came to town. I was his banker for a while, and I've known him for that many years. He has never wanted anything. He's called me twice in his life, not business-wise. One of them was asked me to be the interim president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I did it because Dave Moritz called, and I did that, and then he called me again and said, "Would you do it again?" Several years later, and I said, "No, David, I won't. I'm retired. I'm not going to do it, but I think I know a son-in-law that might be available." Showed me what I continue to see throughout the entire time, the generosity of the Arlington community, but it's very much the epitome, an example of how to lead through serving and giving was.
In the great many ways that David contributed to the quality of life for the people of our community, the one that I think I'm the most closely associated with was actually under my wife's jurisdiction as chair of the River Legacy Foundation. She approached David early in that project and sought his support for raising money to build the Nature Center and acquire property that would expand the park itself. His initial response was that he would be happy to contribute, but that he really was not experienced in fundraising. She talked him into trying that, so he made contact with business associates and friends and landowners and others that were connected somehow to the land area that today is River Legacy Parks. And his influence on that was monumental to the park's success. And it goes without saying that, together with many other things that he supported in our community, would not have happened was it not for his incredible generosity and support for the community that he called home.
Thank you for what you've done. Amazing work. And yes, long overdue. But again, one of the great qualities of Moritz Interests, they're humble, and that humility has kept them from doing this. But yet we hope their work will inspire others to continue to give back to their community.
All right, let's give a big applause. We are so excited that we're bringing Moritz Limited Interest into our Hall of Fame. So we're going to ask y'all to come up on stage, whoever you want to have come up. I know Robert Snider is going to speak on behalf, but feel free to come up.
Wow, thank you so much, Michael, and everybody who's here. It's an honor to accept this recognition on behalf of the Moritz family and Moritz Interests, everybody. For 80 years, the Chamber has been at the heart of Arlington's growth and prosperity, and Moritz has had the privilege of working right there alongside it for many of those years. When David and Becky first moved to Arlington, they didn't know anybody. David's charge was to establish a Cadillac dealership during the middle of an oil crisis. There was long lines at gas stations, no fuel. I mean, David had never sold a car in his life. But David and Becky believed in Arlington. They put down roots, they embraced Arlington's can-do spirit, and they began investing their time and energy in nonprofits, in schools, and of course, the Chamber. My father, Bill, was David's attorney back in those early days, and he began working for Moritz Interests in 1994. And David and Bill were quite the duo, with Steve, the trio. But their work was never about recognition. It was always about doing something great for the community that they loved. That legacy continues today through the work of John David and his wife Leslie. Moritz Interests is so grateful to be a part of Arlington's story and we look forward to continuing that commitment for many years to come. Thank you to the Chamber for this great honor, and thank you to the community for the opportunity to serve.
Our Chamber is the largest and oldest business organization in Arlington. However, for me, and if y'all know me, that sounds way too stodgy, right? It's not really how I feel about the organization and how I feel about everybody in the room. We're a family. We're one big 1,000-member family. Our events and programs bring everyone together in big groups and in small. From our largest event, which is the Inspired Women Luncheon with over 900 attendees, to our business over breakfast and chamber after hours. Yeah, we can give the Inspired Women Luncheon applause. From our recognition programs like our Small Business Awards and 40 Under 40, to connecting the business community with elected officials, through Morning with the Mayor and Tarrant County Days, we have something for everyone.
We came out of COVID and we started meeting again, started having our events and all our functions that we put on and all our networking opportunities and so forth. Getting business over breakfast, up over 120 people coming to that. I mean, it was just, let's chamber is what was going on. Everybody was coming. They're glad to be out of the house. They were glad to be back at work. They're glad to be meeting chamber members again.
The Inspired Women's Luncheon, I'm so glad you brought that up. I loved pointing out to this chamber that was the biggest event that this chamber did. It always has been one of the most profitable and truly the most furthest reaching event that the chamber did. The one single event, I find that event and the women's group of the chamber just to be a powerful force.
For me, it was a space of understanding that sometimes when you're younger, you're not taken seriously. And so, it's like we have this idea in our head that people have to go through all these different things and to be qualified or successful in a position, especially for leadership, not realizing everyone's maturity is different. And with younger people in my generation and below, if they're not acknowledged, that can take away some of the motivation to contribute and add value. So to be able to be a part of 40 Under 40, I guess the godfather of 40 Under 40, it was amazing.
A big event in the history of the chamber is when we started going down to Austin, when it was Arlington to Austin to visit with our elected officials. I mean, that was, I still remember the first time we did that. It was when Dr. Cluck was mayor. And that has been such a huge success, and it has grown and it has grown. And our elected officials will all tell us the same thing, that, yeah, you guys coming down here together with, the chamber, the city, the school district, everybody coming together with a unified message makes a difference.
All right, there's one group who's there for us night and day, rain or shine, from ribbon cuttings to event registrations. In fact, they were volunteering here tonight. If you are a current ambassador of the chamber, please stand. And let's give them a big round of applause. All right, if you've ever been an ambassador to the chamber, please stand. And let's give them a round of applause. We thank you for your time. It's a precious commodity, a finite resource. We are incredibly grateful that you choose to share so much of yours with us to help our chamber be successful. Each year, our chamber ambassadors identify one of their own they feel has been the pinnacle of the chamber's mission, the truest representation of Together We Succeed. We're proud to announce that the 2025 Ambassador of the Year is Roderick Floyd. So Roderick, we also have Elena Thaxton here. She's our Director of Member Experience, and she helps staff our ambassadors. So congratulations. We thank you very, very much. Picture back over there. Our strength as an organization and our voice as a chamber increases with each new member that joins. In a world of fractured media and rampant short-term video consumption, it's getting harder and harder to break through the message of the chamber. More than 90% of our new members each year join because they heard about us from a current member. Our growth is dependent on sharing our story and the stories of fellow members. This year, we welcome 261 businesses and organizations as new members, and this is only possible because of you. Yeah, let's give a round of applause. Each year, we host a membership drive to amplify this growth. This year, the top recruiter is also the captain of the winning team, so she's going to receive 2 awards. We're proud to announce the 2025 BJ Hall Award goes to Sandra Green. Sandra. Brian is y'all know, not only is an auctioneer, he's our director of business recruitment. He helps manage this group that does a great job of bringing in new members. Sandra, thank you very, very much. We'll look there for a picture. Oh, wow. Look back in the very back. Our chamber has shifted over the past 80 years. We've embraced the diversity of our community and developed programs and initiatives to cultivate leaders. There are things about the past that we cannot change, but we can, however, continue to plan for a brighter future. It was imperative to our leadership that our boards and committees reflect our chamber members and our greater business community here in Arlington. If we're going to preach on togetherness, we needed to actively represent togetherness in every form.
It's amazing the diversity we have within our chamber leadership at this time. So it's very important for those of us that are past realize that it's our job to mentor, to bring young men, women, and people that maybe don't look like us, don't think like us, into leadership and mentor them and develop them going forward. That's important.
To be the first Black chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, had an extraordinary and exhilarating feeling, and just also being honest, but it also came with a weight. You know, there's an expectation, there are unvoiced expectations, and even just me, in my mind, honoring the legacy of being the first, but not being the first qualified to be in that position. So I know there are many business members in our community that have come before me that were deserving of such an honor. And so I want to honor and acknowledge all of them, as well as thinking about for the future, just a sign of hope and that we can continue to change and be the representation and be the change that we want to see in our country.
I have had many, many, many firsts in my career, and none more important or none more exciting than the Arlington Chamber Chairmanship. But more than being a title, the real joy that I received from working in this Arlington Chamber is with other chamber members, shoulder to shoulder, accomplishing goals that we thought were important for the entire community. But yes, I am thrilled that there is another woman, and I'm sure there will be other women following her in short order.
What a great night, what a great year to become chair of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce.
It is.
We sit here tonight, we're celebrating 80 years of impact. Wow, you clearly have not been involved in the chamber for 80 years.
No, sir.
You have been for, well, we won't say, but a while.
Six Flags. I was here that year.
Yes. Talk a little bit about your journey to where you sit tonight.
My chamber journey is a lot like my 43 years so far in banking. The first job I had was started doing full-time running the credit bureau machine. You learn a lot about people when you pull their credit report. But as far as my journey starting in the chamber in the late 90s, the diplomat committee was what I did a lot of. Jim Maybach, BJ Hall.
By the way, Diplomat of the Year, 1997.
Yes, in 1997. But
thank you.
Jim Maybach and BJ Hall and Barry Sanders were all folks that, I met then and have developed great friendships with, doing all kinds of volunteering. Joined a leads group on Thursday afternoons. I'm still in that group. Yeah. Membership Experience Council. I mean, I've been on all the different committees and participated. And
such a valuable way to stay involved in the chamber and meet business owners, meet friends that I still have, true friendships.
All right, well, Kelly talked about legacy when I had my conversation with him, and you know, you hear me say we stand on the shoulders of giants. So tell us about your legacy moment and what it meant to you.
Yeah. We just saw Judith Carrier on the video there, and she's an amazing woman, and just really hate that we lost her just this past July. I remember her back in 2008 grabbing some of us active ladies at the chamber and brought us out for a special breakfast at Southeast Campus at TCC. And she got us a talking and, you know, saying if the Mansfield Chamber could have a women's group, so can we. So brainstorming ideas and figuring it all out. Well, that was the beginning of the Women's Alliance. And Beth Owens was our first chair of the Women's Alliance 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And what a great group of strong women, and we need more strong women.
Well, as we look forward to your year as chair, you're just talking about mentorship and leadership. I know that creating a leadership pipeline is a passion of yours, and it's a priority for our chamber this year. Why is that so important to you and to the business community?
Well, we all know what leaders are. Those are folks heading up a team, and the leaders need to be respectful, and they have knowledge to share. They know what to do. That team and leadership is in any organization. We need to be working on filling those spots and training people and mentoring people to take our positions. I wonder someday when I ever retire from banking, who's going to take care of my customers? You've got to groom the people behind you. At the chamber, we have the Young Professionals Group, and they need our guidance. We need to mentor them. They're willing to step up. We've got the 40 Under 40 event. The community identifies leaders that we need to tap into. Our Arlington Civic Engagement Institute with Dr. Victoria Ferrara-Myers in the chamber. We've got the second cohort already happening on that.
Right.
And that, I think, is just a wonderful way to groom leaders. I remember us talking about that in an executive retreat, and Jeff Williams was telling us that needs to happen, and everybody jumped on board. But behind every leader, there's a team, because it's not just that one person, it's the great team behind it that makes it just successful.
Well, I look forward to the year. It's going to be exciting as we go down that path of continuing to build on those leaders. I know you got a message, final words you want to share?
Just a quick thought of, we all love this city. I grew up here, on the north side, moved to the south side of town, went through all the schools, all through UTA, from Arlington Country Day to UTA. And what a blessing to have received everything that's helped me be successful and helped me share. And we all just need to be, just be thankful that that's what we can do.
Well, I know we're thankful to have you coming in as our chair.
It's going to be an honor to serve, and to follow Kelly Curnutt's going to be hard.
Yeah, it will be hard. You're going to do outstanding, and it's great to have somebody who spent their whole life in Arlington and over 30 years in the chamber.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you just to stay right here for a second. So, Joni, we're excited about this upcoming year, and we know the CVB and others have worked on some pretty cool things. We've got the Grand Prix this year. We've got 9 FIFA games of the World Cup. Right, this year is going to be the year of Arlington. It's just amazing. But Arlington didn't stumble into big events like the Grand Prix and the World Cup. We worked together as a community to showcase that we're a place where you can make anything happen.
Arlington is just so much more than just being an important centerpiece geographically, right, between Dallas and Fort Worth and North Texas. What I find to be exciting is Arlington, the Arlington Chamber is the center point where people are coming to from business leaders, from community leaders, knowing that they can count on Arlington and the chamber to play a leadership role, to play a convener role.
To just see it flourish, see the city flourish and diversify as over the years. Our diversity makes us stronger. And that's just a really exciting thing to see a city that has not only grown, but stayed true to its roots as well, and expanded in all sorts of areas, whether it be entertainment district, the general business community, the small business community. It's just very well rounded. We've got some great big companies, but we have a really, really strong, diverse group of small businesses as well.
When it looked like we were going to lose our General Motors plant, the national economy was bad. And so the news media from around the country was using Arlington's loss of the General Motors plant as an example of the impact on people of the economic downturn that was occurring. It was a big recession, and they were watching what we were doing. And then when we succeeded with what they felt like was not possible to achieve, then they suddenly realized that some of the things that were being said about the can-do spirit of this city were actually not just a slogan, but it was a true definition of who we are.
The one thing that's so great about Arlington is if you have a good idea and you come to this chamber and this body of business community, and regardless of whether you're from this community or not, if you have a good idea and you can convince that the people in leadership in this city that your idea has merit, they will listen to you. You know how rare that is? That is so rare and so wonderful.
In Arlington, we're capable of great things. Just as the leaders in the 1940s and 50s set up Arlington's economic momentum, we owe it to the leaders 80 years in the future to do the same. We need to continue adding fuel to our economic engines. We need to support each other and our community. Our chamber's greatest asset is the power to bring people together, to check egos at the door, to tamper attitudes that enable divisiveness to creep in. We have been and always will be stronger when we work together.
Together we succeed.
Together we succeed.
Together we succeed.
Together we succeed.
Together we succeed is just a natural thing to say here in Arlington because we've seen it time and time again. That's what works.
3 simple words, and I think they're very direct. The meaning is there. It means we work together. Together we make things happen.
It's a few words that describe Arlington's success story.
It's that opportunity to get together with your business partners and your business community. How do we make this better for our company, but how do we make it better for the whole community as a whole?
To me means together we succeed, that we as a city, as a business community, as come together, our higher education, our school system, AIST, all as a group come together and make an impact.
Well, I think it takes a large group of people to make anything succeed. And when I see Arlington, I travel around Arlington, sometimes I see things that as a banker I finance. And that gives me a small little pride to think I was part of that project.
Together we succeed as a tagline for the chamber. It's easy to say, more people doing the same thing and get more done, but it's not addition, it's multiplication.
Together we succeed, to me, means it's not about me or it's not about a singular person or leader. It's about all of us together. And I don't know how you can say it more simply than that, but together we succeed is powerful.
I see it in multiple ways. I see Together We Succeed as the chamber itself, very specifically the staff of the chamber. I think Michael was instrumental in bringing a team together that really can work well together. And as I mentioned before, just has all these different unique pieces and parts in life and are different places in their respective lives to work together. And so together the chamber succeeds, and then together they are able to help bring the greater Arlington area in a way to succeed.
We are better, stronger, wiser, more capable of solving problems and thriving in life when we put all of our minds together. When we cannot exclude our differences and our diversity or not allow them to polarize us, but when we can actually bring them all in and have a much better dish.
Together, whether it was business or community, together we succeed was very much a nice complement to our mission statement. And so it was born out of a retreat.
I was at that retreat where we came up with that mission statement, and it wasn't easy. People hear a mission statement over several years, they think it's just easy words. But there was some differences of opinion during that retreat about what we were going to put in our mission statement. And I don't think it could have come out any better, and it backs up what I'd said earlier. There were disagreements, we came to an agreement, we found an answer, and it's lasted all these years. But we won't do anything in the future if we don't do it together.
And Michael's very involved, and to the point where he's now viewed by many, many people as someone to go to for advice. I think that's the together part. He's gained the respect of the community. And so that he's fulfilling his mission statement in an exemplary way.
You cannot work in individual pods around town, and you have to all work together to make the town work, to make the citizens understand what you're doing, be transparent with what you're doing, let everybody know what the job is, and be on one chapter at a time and not a whole book at a time. So you have to build the chapters and end up with the book. So that's what we're doing.
I really love all these videos, by the way, and for me, if I ever have doubt, I need direction, these videos are going to be a tremendous resource for me. Right? It's an opportunity for us all to sing from the same book. And here's some really, really good news. All of these videos with our past chairs will be played in entirety, and they will be available to the public. With the generous support of Susser Bank, I'm excited to announce our From the Chamber Vault series will roll out this fall. We can all be encouraged and inspired as we chart our next 80 years. As a special thank you to our chamber member, Ethereal Vision Media, for filming and producing these outstanding videos. Tonight has been about our history. We've really focused on our history. But the good news is our future is just as bright. On October 16th, we have our State of the City, where Mayor Ross will take over the podium to give us insights on the inner workings of the city. He will share more inspiring stories and exciting news as we always endeavor for economic and community prosperity. So if you don't have your ticket yet, please do. We're looking forward to that, Mayor. Thank you. Now to close the evening, let me thank Graham Associates for sponsoring our toast to 80 years. And to give the toast, and as soon as the toast is done, we're done. You won't hear from me again. To give the toast and close the evening, please welcome to the stage Jeff Williams.
Well, I loved what our incoming chair said, Joni Wilson. It takes a team, doesn't it? Well, Michael Jacobson, don't leave here. Michael Jacobson and this team of professionals that he's guiding have done an incredible job for a number of years, and tonight have they not exceeded all expectations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I've got two toasts, and it won't be surprising because we need to start with a toast to the Moritz Interests, a group of professionals who really do think every time they are making a decision, what is best for Arlington. They have been extremely great businessmen who have continued to remember that they need to give back. They also have not just given back to the community, they've given to each one of us, so many people that they have helped individually. And then this chamber, my goodness. So here is what I would like to say. Let's raise our glasses to the inspiration that Moritz Interests has given to all of us so that we will continue to move forward. And John David, thank you for continuing the great history of Moritz Interests. And we look forward to great success in Arlington, Texas, as we follow the example of Moritz Interests. Yes, sir. Did we hear anything about better together tonight? We did, didn't we? Oh my goodness. Together we succeed. Oh my goodness. Well, here we have not just the Arlington Chamber of Commerce anymore. It's the greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. We are moving forward to include even more. But as we move forward in a world full of dissension and division, Arlington stands out, and this Chamber of Commerce stands out. So let us be inspired to bring people together to continue to promote unity in this community and continue that can-do spirit of Arlington. And it all begins right here in the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Hear, hear.